Hello everybody, my name is Jay Risk and I'm contacting you as a plea for help. I'm in the state of Florida and I have a medical condition which is a 4-part heart condition called tetralogy of Fallot. It comes with a plethora of other things. You could be born with the George syndrome, Down syndrome, enlarged organs, all kinds of different things. I'm looking at now my 5th open heart surgery. I had 4 open hearts, like I said, 30 hours old, 4 years old, 9 years old, and 36 years old. I've been fighting my whole life. I'm the oldest MABCAST patient with my form of TOF on the earth. America can't find anyone. We went to Europe. Those doctors couldn't find it globally either. So this is just one reason why I'm such an important global case study. Let alone do they study me, I also do other studies and I come out with my medically published peer-reviewed papers. And the reality is, what happens to me usually happens to those behind me, because those in front of me with worse anatomy or the same or a little bit less were just dying off. They weren't going through they weren't making it through the test, so they just kept throwing everything they could at me because I kept surviving, and they would learn more. So it was like being a medical astronaut, you know. You gotta get it done. You go, you do it, you know. And so I've tested everything from medical equipment to medical procedures, which that's very scary because I'll tell you in a minute why. The term medical astronaut also comes from people before me not making it, but I somehow was able to keep handling each ride. So they were the real fighters first in this. So, but by the time I was 9 years old, and this is very important, I was quite aware that all this was for me, and it was very much like pushing the envelope of space, time, and the heavens, kind of. You know, they'd say the doctors of the God complex, well, they're trying to figure out this 100-year-old, you know, heart disease, problematic, worst case scenario in their heads. Their whole life, they'd spend their whole careers on it. So, you know, by the time I was 9 years old, I was aware of all this, and I knew exactly what I was facing when they were discussing with my family some experimental things, and I was told to tell them to tell me straight up to my face, let me know what's going on, I can handle it. My mother said yes. My father, I'll tell you what happened in a moment, but he looked at me and said, Jay, it's either you're going to wake up or not. So this was kind of experimental, and before I could think about it, down went with my father. Bloop. Just like the phone. So, if I didn't take those chances, by the way, which were, you know, hey, if you live through this, you know, we got more behind you that we think could do it. They have a shot. If I did this and it worked out, it'd be pretty great, and I'd have a pretty good long time to live. Or else, the the timeline was 2 years they gave me if I didn't. So I had a choice to face maybe a life, fame and glory, or excuse me, it's all over. I don't know. But and for some reason, at 9 years old, I took that information of, you know, waking up or not, like, and I don't want to sound like this, but I did talk to a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses. I had to learn how to communicate very, very, very well at a very, very young age. And so, waking up or not, like a man, I felt it kind of like a man who grew up too quickly, and it messed with my psyche. But that was the point that I knew at 9 that I was just here to test stuff and be that guy, I guess. And luckily I seem to be living through everything, so there must be a reason. And people lived after, and it helped. I don't know what to make of it. And I feel horrible all the time, and there's a lot, but whatever. But and for some reason, you know, at 9 years old, I understood that, and they, our condition, tetralogy of Fallot, is so rare. 20,000 of us are born roughly each year. There's now about 1.6 million of us in the United States alive. And in 2016, I woke up to open heart number 4. And to prove some things, my first words were no pain meds, because I didn't want pain meds and I didn't want to be on them, and I knew what they cause, and friends died on them. Well, after 3 days they just come in, I was going into shock. I was on them 3.5 years, and then there was no facilities for a TOF patient like me to come off something like that, especially though it's strong. So it was either I was going to die in the pills, or die coming off in a facility, or dying going into a place that I know at least I could do some chemistry and hope the hell it'll work if I'm back in call, you know. And get the right foods and all. So I locked myself in a room in Brooklyn after 3.5 years and just straight up ate up pain pills on the chin. Not ate them, I ate the pain on the chin. Just doosh. Straight up, just quit pills. Done. You know, they don't have help for us. And that's another reason why I'm talking to people, because I've been through so many procedures and cardiac casts, to put it to you this way, what would take a normal half hour to hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, took 3.5 to 4 hours at one time, and they had to rip walls of scar tissue out and smack and poke a hole through. I was awake. It unbelievably hurt. I've also get no TOF medical assistance at all. I get no help. And this was after, and you have to remember, I was paraded around. I was a poster child. I was an ambassador. I was a public speaker for both national, international, you know, small companies. I was on international television for it. I brought in millions of dollars of revenue to these hospitals, and when you ask them, hey, can I get a little help? it's new phone, who this, you know? So, you know, it's pretty much like, oh, cute kid, but I'm not the cute kid anymore. It's like some, I don't know, kid. And I'm 40, so they don't care. You know, and that's the other part of parading you around. It messes up with your life. It messes with your head. I've been on stage since I was 5 years old, giving speeches for 300 people. By the time I was 9, I was doing 1,000, 2,000 people or better. I was writing speeches for Sandoz, which became Novartis, to help my aunt. At a young age, I was really, what I wanted to do was write, and so, you know, I became a speaker, and I wanted to use my voice for good, so I opened up a heart foundation after my last open heart surgery. Took no salary for 4 years, and got 1 child adopted, 2 people did something. I'm very tired right now, I apologize. It was very important. It'll come back to me. But we started winning. We got lobbying money for research. We have the ACHA looking out now for adults, not just pediatric kids, and we don't die now at the rate of 50%, which is unbelievably horrible. Man, you know, again, being a poster child and having to go back to these hospitals, and you're on the rebound, you just feel horrible, and it makes, I want the people in the hospitals to know you've done everything you could, and you developed these programs, but I've developed better ones that won't traumatize those that feel like they're abandoned by a lot of people. And there are groups of people that feel that way because we were coddled a bit too much, and we need some help with that. It's another thing that I'm doing with it. I'm writing a paper, I'm going on tour, it's going to be medically published, peer reviewed. I'll tell you this story. I told you that I would leave you with like 2 stories that are pretty insane. So 3. One of them was, they had this test called an electrophysiology study. I'll give you more if you request more. I don't want to do too much. What they do is, in this electrophysiology study, is the electronic pathways in your heart, that's the way the electricity flows. And if there's scar tissue or blockage, there'll be a misfire, a lot of different things happen. They actually sometimes intentionally create these scars because of such abnormal rhythms. It's called the maze procedure. You could also look into that as well. But so I'm standing there, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I'm laying there getting shocked, and the shock isn't too bad while you're laying there. But I had these paddles on, these big paddles that stuck to you, one here and one there, and like the propofol, they had it in there. And I felt my heart go, and he's like, oh yeah, hit him. And I think he had just thought and boom. And I've never felt like that before in my life. And they said, what happened? I passed out. They asked me what happened. I told them. It was pretty crazy. I've been defibrillated while I was awake. I watched my own open heart surgery. After I was 9 years old, I met one of the men who excuse me, invented the head cameras that was worn by Dr. Stephen Colvin, who actually did some of these procedures. So I actually got to watch my personal surgery. Took my mom forever to convince, but I did. You know, and this is what I want to say to you. This is what's so upsetting, is that I fought so hard for this, and the last two things they put in me have been defective. Well, no, the pacemaker now is okay, but the one before they put it in, they recalled it a month later, but wouldn't take it out because it was too dangerous. But at any time it could shock you. This one they put in a valve, and it looks like, and I'm not going to claim until we officially know, but it looks like the doors blew off the hinges, fellas, or they just disintegrated. So I don't know how we're going to fix this, but I have to go through many steps, and that starts with dental. Dental is the biggest thing in cardiac, pretty much anything, if they're going to do anything invasive. There's what's called bacteria encarditis. It's a bacterial infection that goes, kind of surrounds the heart, kills it. It's your worst nightmare for your heart. You never want that for your heart. It's really, it's not good. So I have to get all my teeth ripped out, and I have to get all brand new ones. And that's a start, because of the medication that they gave me was also defective. And the owner of that, I can clearly show you, is serving 18, not months, not days, not years, 18 consecutive life sentences. So my gums got hard, and they had to keep on burning my teeth through with the blowtorch. Well, now I gotta rip out all my teeth, and I gotta get brand new ones within the next week or so. And I have about 8 weeks, I get new teeth, and then they go in and they look at my heart and see what they do with my valves. But I have to see this TEE guy, esophageal encephalogram. It basically 3D maps your heart. It goes down your throat, 3D maps your heart, you're out. They check it out, they can see if the leaflets are there, they're working, how they work. I don't know how much a cardiac cath would help in this situation, but they may do a live one while I'm up and on a bike or something. Then they may have me do some stress tests. I mean, there's a litany of things they may have me do, and it's going to cost me a lot of money. And now I have some pretty crazy stories that I would love to tell you. But if you please give me, and you start tonight, and you start by sharing on SaveJRisk.com. That's www.SaveJRisk.com. And you can actually go on and get the GoFundMe, but there's also a PayPal is, can I give all this info out?
Yeah.
The PayPal is S is in Sam dot Howard 513 at gmail.com. Zelle is the 954 600 9881. Venmo, same thing, 954 600